Sideline of ball. Lakewood are doing it. They're gonna take. He's gonna bring down Birdie. Alone with a double kill. Dropping fast. Monopoint's there. He's still alive. Wait, second slide. He's got one side. He's got a second. He's taking it. Oh my God! On three. They're all dead.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Summit 2 by G2A.com. I'm Gods from Beyond the Summit. We've got SEA action coming your way for today. 2 BO1s. Bit of a break in between, so we may actually not be doing them consecutively, but we've got Invasion taking on MVP Phoenix right now, the Korean squad. MVP up against the Malaysians of Invasion. Then later on today we're going to have Invasion once again, this time taking on First Departure of Singapore. And then we get ourselves, well, into America action once more here at the Summit 2. But that's much later on today. So for now, 2 SEA games, 2 BO1s, about a 2 to 3 hour gap in between. Do apologize, guys, for the scheduling and the way it's been done. But as always, it's to accommodate the teams. We want to make sure they're happy with the schedule and don't get kind of screwed around, have to play with too many stand-ins, have to forfeit any matches. So we make sure the teams look after. And that's where this schedule has resulted with us. But guys, we're here with our first game, MVP vs Invasion. Let's hop ourselves into the draft and get things well and truly underway. It is, of course, as said, the Summit 2 by G2A.com, and this is a group stage match. As far as where we stand with these two teams, Invasion are doing pretty well. They're 4 wins and 2 losses. MVP Phoenix right behind with 3 wins and 2 losses. So both on 2 losses. MVP 1 fewer win, which basically doesn't mean too much. So what's more important is who they actually lost to, and I believe MVP may have they had a loss against I think both teams have lost against CSW maybe. CSW beat MVP and Invasion have not played them. So Invasion have lost to Johnny's Revenge, and they've also lost to Team Malaysia. Everyone's lost to Team Malaysia, and that means MVP have lost to Malaysia as well as CSW. So losing to CSW versus losing to Johnny's Revenge, probably pretty similar. Those are both pretty formidable opponents, I'd say, on a similar level. So, yeah, this is an important match. If these teams are going to be making the playoffs, getting into that top 4, this is the kind of match you got to start winning. And we'll see what these two teams look to pull out here. MVP have been doing some funky, fresh drafts over the last few weeks when I've been watching them. They have been mixing up, I'd say, like the player hero or some, and some stuff has worked, some stuff has not. But either way, it's been interesting to watch because always a team that's not been afraid to like kind of try and go their own way. Pick stuff like the Warlock we've seen them use as a core hero, as a support, and just kind of run some slightly less conventional drafts and picks. They're one of the first teams to really popularize the Jakiro before like EG and everyone started running it. They were running that recent Jakiro back at the TI4 during the pre-qualifiers. So this is a team who will make their own stamp. They're not going to follow any trends necessarily, and they love this Slark. We saw Kyo on this Slark the other day, absolutely beast moded on it. Normally kind of the mid player for this team, but it seems he may be transitioning into that carry role a bit more. We'll see if he's going to be handling the Slark again, or if they get something for the mid lane for him. As for the rest of the team, they're going to get a Skywrath Mage and an Earthshaker for their 2 supports. March mostly playing support from what I've seen, and Reason the other support typically. Forev known for his Nature's Prophet, and that's been banned out. Maybe Heen's also played the support here. I just remember it was the reason Jakiro, but we'll see if that's going to be the case here. As Invasion, they've gone for the Centaur as their first pick out of everything. That's a bit of a surprise, I guess. No Razor got picked up afterwards. What am I talking about? Razor could have been first picked or could have been taken by MVP, but was not done so. And then they went into a Treant Protector after that Razor. Timbersaw comes out. That's what I'm talking about. That's an MVP style pick. And that's just a pick that I feel like should be getting more and more play with how much damage output he's doing, and the option to go for that Aghanim Scepter after your Bloodstone now, and just almost, I mean, you're increasing your total damage like in fights or in ganks by like 50% or something ridiculous. It's just insane. Even more than that, almost it feels like. You can just demolish Strength Heroes especially, and that's what Centaur and Treant Protector are sitting at right now. So we'll see Invasion. Definitely got to be careful about what these last 2 picks are. Stay away from Strength Heroes, stay away from melee heroes. You're going to need a range support of some kind there. Probably another core hero that's maybe something along the lines of like an Invoker even. They have some very capable Invoker players. Kachikimba good at that. And as far as the carry rolls go, maybe they even put Razor mid. I've seen FZ play some beastly draw ranges and other kind of carries for the team, so I have to see exactly what the plan is going to be for Invasion Esports. As I should probably get my Twitch chat up. Hey guys in Twitch chat, no problems, no one's freaking out. Phew. Every time I get into a game, like I've been casting for 5 minutes and I realize, oh, I haven't looked at Twitch chat. I always panic thinking, what if I'm muted? What if there's something like really wrong with the stream? Like I messed up an overlay. So always make sure I want to like check the chat a little bit over the first few minutes. But we guys, we're good. You're all beautiful there in the Twitch chat, and we'll see how things progress here as a Rubik gets picked up by Invasion. There's that range support I was talking about, and a pretty good support against Timbersaw. You can interrupt the Timber Chain with Telekinesis. I mean, you need to have some kind of a lockdown against him. The Null Field doesn't help too much against his pure damage, but being able to steal Chakram is always great, and it's pretty straightforward to do so, unless he's using like his Timber Chain or Whirling Death right after always. But even stealing a Timber Chain is pretty damn good. Whirling Death probably less sexy for a Rubik to be stealing, but Chakram's really the one which you want most, I would say. I mean, at the same time, I don't think this Rubik was picked up. Oh, they got Timbersaw, but I think it's a support that Invasion had their eyes on, perhaps, and can be pretty aggressive with this Treant Protector as a support duo. Apparently, we've got no sound in Dota TV. I do apologize, guys. Let me get that up for you as we get some overlay. Now the overlay problem. That's why I have Twitch chat up. As we'll get this down. There we go. I forget I've got to switch between my playing settings and my casting settings, which are a bit different. So there we go. Dota TV audio should be fixed. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, guys. Just gotta wait 2 minutes. It's fixed now. Okay. There's 2 minutes delay. And you guys, by the end of this draft, will have it. As let me make sure that is it picking me up. Yep, it's picking me up. So that little green bar signals that we're good to go. So Dragonite inspected the last 2 bands from the 2 teams, and MVP go for a Puck. So this is the kind of draft we've been seeing from them. They go for these like 3 core lineups with 3 kind of more nuky burst, like nuky kind of snowball heroes. They're not picking proper carries. They're going for like we see here, Puck, Timbersaw, Slark. The other day I think we saw something similar. I think it was even like a Slark and a Quap. And picking these, I mean, picking offliners like Timbersaw as opposed to your Tidehunter Centaurs, focusing more on the damage and nuki type heroes, I guess, rather than the team fight control. So we'll see what Invasion look to respond to. BKB heroes always going to be great against Puck, Timbersaw, Skywrath, Earthshaker, Slark less so. But even Slark to a small extent, BKBs will help. And Invasion are going to go Wind Ranger, so there's most likely your mid hero. This hero definitely, I would say as a core, almost always wants to be mid. Putting Razor maybe in the safe lane, could always offensive trialing, but I don't think Centaur's going to get eaten up by a Timbersaw in a 1v1 matchup, something tells me, so we'll see what the plan's going to be. It's going to be 4F handling the core Timbersaw as we don't mess up our overlays. Yeah. Okay, no, it's just lagging. Don't worry. I think I clicked to get rid of the draft screen. It's thinking. It's got that little spirally wheel. There we go. And we'll have that quick pause, so we've got ourselves a proper Dota game as the teams asked for a minute to get things ready and underway. As we'll introduce our 2 rosters here to start off the day for SEA action in the Summit 2. We are going to have on the Radiant side MVP Phoenix of Korea. The top dogs there. We've got QO, as predicted, someone on the Slark once more. And 4 Boots first on the Timbersaw. March going to be handling the support Skywrath Mage. Already with Boots first for him. Heen on the Puck, leaving the Earthshaker. He's going to do the supporting here. You're going to have to see Courier, Observer Wards. Not going to be that no Daddy Bigtail style of Earthshaker where we get Boots and Clarities. It's March who's going to go for the Boots first, so forces Earthshaker to focus a bit more on the hard supporting. And we'll look over towards the Dire teamers. Let me try and just hold on. I've got to sneeze. Woo. Alright, it's gone. It's gone. Good Invasion. We got OK on the Rubik. Got Kachik Imba playing the Wind Ranger, the mid player for the team. This guy used to kind of be the 6th man for Orange Esports back when kind of played he was kind of like the stand-in for Mushi for a while when Mushi was kind of taking some time off, and he really impressed there. We've got Ghost playing the Centaur War Runner. We've got FCFZ on the Safe Lane Razor, and that leaves ADTR on the Treant Protector going towards that top lane. So we'll see. Treant Razor, I mean, you've got great slow damage output, can come from the Razor with a static link plasma field, so a lot of killing potential there. And Rubik currently heading down bottom lane. I think he's messed up and done goofed. He hasn't bought his Courier. Has not bought wards, which he has to, so I think Rubik maybe did a bit of misclick, because he's going to be just walking right back up and headed towards that fountain to purchase those much needed items. And Centaur's probably thinking, dude, man, I need my observer wards. I'm in the off lane. Get the pool going on. As an invasion are ready to go, and okay, go is the call for both teams now. Now Summit 2 match here for SCA Division, a pretty important one. I said earlier, both these teams just with the 2 losses, and there we go. Courier, Sentries, Observer Wards, Clarities, no Tangos for you. He passes off an Observer and Sentry. Okay, gets the double shebang, and March is already there. He's going to look to contest this, and because of Centaur getting slowed down with the Rubik pulling him, he's not going to be able to get into this jungle to block off here. Can maybe try and like loop around and do it from behind, but nope, Slack's there. I mean, the entire tri-lane of MVP plus more, plus the puck at the moment, and maybe even 4 of on this Timbersaw are down here, and they're going to be saying, nope, you're not warding. And they saw the Centaur now, so they know exactly what he's up to, and the fact that he retreats, they now realize, okay, you're alone. Centaur hasn't got much backup here. And he's trying to ward, so QO should try to keep an eye on him. Something you can, the one thing you can do as a Centaur is kind of like sneak into here and plan a ward right here without being spotted, but that's done so often that MVP may just de-ward it and be heads up about it. But with that said, where are the sentries? Doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any from the Radiant side, but they block. They prevent their pool getting blocked, so they don't actually need the sentries right now. Centaur may try and swoop in a bit later on to do so, though, once things clear up, and maybe once the supports go for that 0-minute rune. It's going to be just Skywrath headed down there, and that's going to be a bounty rune, and it looks like he did actually get in. So he gets in, gets the pull block, and no sentry wards. Meanwhile, top lane, it looks like it was an illusion for the Treant Protector. Of course, it goes to the hero with the highest base damage. It's only right. And Earthshaker is going to be joining up top. Okay, that fissure works. I wasn't 100. The fissure when the creep stop is just so random, it feels. But yeah, that works. Going to get helped out a lot in this offlane, thanks to that fissure pulling the creep wave back to his tower. So going to get at least a pretty straightforward level 2 from the first creep wave, as there's not much FC can do about that. It's actually, ooh, it gets to the tower. Not the end of the world for him. It makes it harder to last hit, and you may not get any of this farm, but getting the full creep wave means you're guaranteed a level 2. So you can have Timber Chain and the passive, the reactive armor. Puck vs Wind Ranger, slightly Wind Ranger favored matchup. Ever so slightly, I would say, just because of Wind Ranger having the better attack animation. But as far as Puck's concerned, you can get some CS. You've got pretty much matchup. You're actually ahead on base damage with the triple branches, and in first blood, bottom lane, Centaur gets brought down. That was just March on his own. No signs of cure. He didn't even get an assist for that one, so I'm not sure what Centaur's thinking there. Heen at this mid lane is still struggling a bit for CS, just the 2 last hits, and he maybe needs some levels first and gets the bottle out so he can start using that orb a bit for the last hits. But right now, Forever, I thought Forever bought boots. He must have sold his boots. I saw him with boots first. It was during a pause. I think he changed his mind, sold them, and bought this stout shield. So I definitely remember seeing him with boots first on that Timbersaw. Bottom trialing off to a great start. Now Scarith just heads home too. After the suicide to neutrals, completely depleted of mana, and you spend your money, and then you can move back out. And it's much more efficient than trying to heal up or walk back to Fountain and TP out. You save a lot of time from this. Bottom lane though, Centaur. He's going to be okay here. Skywrath not in sight. Skywrath's actually headed towards mid. So Observer Ward looks like it will spot this one out, as Forever is actually going to see, ooh, Haste Rune, that gets left for March. Thing is, Ketchik should be well aware of this, and I don't see this gank working, but yeah, it's just going to be some casual harass. Make Puck's life a little bit easier here in the mid lane. As March continuing the onslaught of Arcane Bolts. He's got the singular clarity, and that's going to help him out. As he starts trading hits, actually uses a concussive shot, can't actually get the right clicks off. Will turn maybe for one more Arcane Bolt. Don't know if you want to go for it. The living armor's up, and oh, tower hits. Careful, you've only got 1 base armor, March. A power shot and a right click, and you're probably dead here. It's a level 2 power shot. Ooh, gonna miss. Slightly off the mark there, but that would have been, I think, the death of March. If it hit him first and got the full damage, we're looking at some hefty magic damage coming into play, so. Ghost at bottom hits level 3 now. So as far as the offlanes are concerned, both just sitting back, leeching XP. Forever not quite level 3, but about to hit that. And March spends his mana, his HP. He's really just being aggressive as far as trying to zone out. First, not even just zoning out the offlane Centaur, getting the first blood there. And secondly, heads mid and just constantly harasses and tries to zone out the Wind Ranger, who does have a bottle now, and also has the living armor support. But just a level 1 living armor is not going to be the end of the world. What's the plan for Marchi? I saw he put a smoke. I guess he hasn't maybe brought it out just yet. He will get spotted by the Observer. Concussive shots there. Fissure on the wrong side. Ghost will be A-okay. And, well, pretty straightforward stuff here. A bit of a stack here, which is more about actually just denying the XP and pulling the wave back. 4 of is on the low ground trying to leech XP, but none of these big creeps are really dying. They're just taking out creep waves and denying XP from the Timbersaw. How's our mid lane doing? 14 CS to 14. Right now, very even between these two. Thanks to some help from the Skywrath Mage. Top. Ooh. 4-minute rune. Rubik gets a bounty rune, Skywrath gets an illusion rune. So not a crazy... Oh, whoa, Kitchik is very low. He's going to bottle up fast here. Concussive Shock going to lead things off here. That's going to maybe stop some of this bottle regen. Is there going to be an Arcane Bolt? That gives some vision here. Kitchik turns around, has living armor. There's a Timber Chain through as well. 4 is showing up for this one even. And ADTR can't do too much about this. He wants Heen will actually go down thanks to a TP in from FZ. That's your safe lane farmer, leaving his lane, leaving her Tozen with good reason. Brings down the Earthshaker as well. That's 2, looking for 3. 4's on the run here. ADTR is going to be a little bit careful. 4 could turn for a Timber Chain, and that would be the death of this Treant Protector, but I don't know if he fully knows that. And he's just going to go retreat towards the top river here. Timber Chain's across and over the chasm, and, well, will get himself out of there, but a nice TP from FZ on that Razor. Helps turn around and get a couple of kills to go the way of Invasion. Their first kills of the game as well. As we will see Ketchik. He did end up going down there. Yeah, the Timber Chain forward, and there was enough damage to do so. He narrowly misses an orb here. Ketchik with full bottle though, so killing him not really possible right now. He can win round, he can bottle up, and he's got his second point in Shackle now. So you get latched onto a tree or something under the tower going for a dive, you're in a lot of pain. Oh, look at this greedy Slack build. No HP regen. He's like, look, don't worry, I got this. Almost Midas up. One more creep and he's there. This is like the naked Midas, not something you often see, even by like players like Loader who like to Midas. He'll maybe pick up at least some brown boots. Or rarely do you see him like this low in HP with no regen. Like trading a lot of blows with the offlane Centaur perhaps, or just getting harassed a bit. And there we go. Has the Midas money. Wants this last creep wave before he goes to buy it though. It's a 6-minute Midas, which is good. Considering he's rushed a naked Midas, like you'd want to have it by at least 6 minutes. Ideally you get maybe around like 4:30 to 5 minutes, but still very good timing as Hina in the mid lane could be in some trouble. There's a Telekinesis available. 3 heroes here, but Telekinesis doesn't land. They're looking for a Telekinesis and Shackle Shot, but it's being turned around. 2 hero Dream Coil. Living armor onto the Rubik, but Rubik's such a squishy hero to begin with anyways. Doesn't want to break the Dream Coil. Ooh, moves back just at the right time. The orb goes through, only catches the Wind Ranger, but with a fissure. Arcane Bolt, not enough damage. Ketchik survives on very low HP. Puck may be thinking he should have jaunted into that one, but the message was not past that. The fissure was coming back up for it. As Heen will bottle up his teammates once, and nice little return counter gank there for MVP, but they don't actually get anything out of it. Let's queue up to a bottom lane. He's just still duking it out with his Centaur. He's level 5, so unable to really do much zoning himself, but somewhat similar story at top lane. Timbersaw is getting less out of this lane. Only the 6 CS. Although, Centaur with 4, so really neither getting farmed, just slightly more experience on the Centaur War Runner. And this game very even. We're 7 minutes in, so it is still very much early days. And as far as the mid game's concerned, we talked about this tricore of MVPs like being very snowbally. Timbersaw can get some farm and levels. Slack's already free farm, and then you've got the Puck as well, who's on his way to a pretty good timed Blink Dagger at this rate. A lot of nuke damage, a lot of burst damage, and that's something Invasion has to be careful of. We'll have to see if it's going to be, yeah, straight mech from the Razor. You've got to just tank up and help your team as much as possible with this. And then probably into maybe a BKB. I don't know if you want to go for the Accept. I think the BKB after mech may be your best bet here for FCFC on that Razor. Forever Top will do a cute little melee Timber Chain. He's completely mana depleted though. Needs to be a bit careful. Just the one Timber Chain available as he swoops down towards this 8-minute room, which often that's where we're seeing these little clashes. Teams will be a bit more passive in their actual lanes, but as soon as runes come into play, that's when you see both teams maybe trying to secure one or the other and running into some opposition. As yeah, that's going to be the case here. ADTR walking into a bit of a sticky position here. Skywrath is there. The living armor though Helping out a little bit, and he's going to look to turn this one around. The leech seed onto Reason, not the best target. Kuo shows up as well with the Dark Pact. That just burns through any living armor. I think living armor was already disposed of. Kuo now gets low, but he does get the Shadow Dance off. They want this Rubik, and it looks like Rubik they will get. Kuo lifted up in the air. 1 or 2 more right clicks. The stun is enough. With FCFC showing up, the TP him once again from the Razor from top lane. He's looking to clean up, but with the Dream Coil, the stun being applied, it's kind of hard for him to chase. Has got phase boots. Raisin on the high ground will be fine. TP's out and makes his way home as elsewhere it's Ghost. I don't think he's going to be so lucky. The Timber Chain will bring him down. Ray's going to maybe look to rotate back and bring this one down. Good news for Invasions. They're low level. They're respawning, so they can try and punish some of these these MVP heroes like March, who are well in over their heads on the enemy side of the map. Looks like Forev may find his way out of this one. Once he can't pick up Arcane Boots here. Also, he doesn't have money for a Timber Chain just yet. 5 mana. Count it down. 3, 2, 1. He's good. He'll get out of there. No lockdown and not really enough invasion heroes in the vicinity. So, the small clash there. Kuo did end up going down after rotating in, and that's where the Midas build kind of is. It's really hard for you to fight. You've got 700, less than 800 HP. Don't even have your treads yet. We'll probably pick those up in just a second. He's 50 gold short. He barely even got the Shadow Dance off. He could have died before popping the Shadow Dance, and that fight would have gone even worse for MVP. Although it kind of was a bit of an even fight, I want to say, in the end. Just here, fighting some neutrals takes a lot of damage. Lucky for him, we can just sit around, wait for the Shadow Dance to kick into play, but here comes Rubik, so he's going to back off and lose that Shadow Dance regen. Meanwhile, bottom lane, there is a level 6 Stampede on the Centaur. Gotta keep an eye out for that one. That's the initiation, which can either lead to a hoof stomp into some follow-up damage coming into play, or even just a dive on someone like Q at this top lane, with Centaur not even being there. Makes it a lot harder to gank and try kill this Centaur. And he will get silenced up, so how are you actually going to get that Stampede off? That's the problem. The Ancient Seal's there, the Living Armor, he's going to just Stampede to retreat. Not helping out any of his teammates get a kill, so that's a pretty big cooldown. Even though they don't get the kill, MVP just used some pretty, like, spammable spells. Like, there's nothing with a long cooldown there. Does chew through a lot of their mana with Forev completely out, more or less, as mid lane he has used the orb already. Going to have to turn and coil, and we talk about Stampede being used defensively. That's a defensive coil if I've ever seen one, but he goes down anyways. Uses the Dream Coil as well as gets picked off, so Invasion going to be very happy about that one. Got the mech on the Razor, and they're looking fine and dandy here. Razor going to look to spam this one down and try to pressure the tier 1 tower. Similar story at bottom lane. MVP want this tier 1 tower. They're pushing power with these 3 heroes is pretty lackluster. None of the heroes really do much except for a little bit of chip damage here or there. Similar story with the Razor. Razor can provide the mech here, but that's just like your mech in a creep wave. And we'll see a tower deny. I mean, it wasn't just the mid and the bottom lane with towers being pressured. Top lane Wind Ranger tried to get the tier 1, but QO was there to prevent that. March is going for this double Null Talisman build is getting more and more popular on the Skywrath Mage. You go like double Null into generally 4 staff, although sometimes we see the Yule Scepter, depending on what the lineup is missing. I think you've got more than enough lockdown with Coil, with Fissure, with the Slark Pounce. I think you maybe want some defensive 4 staff this game. Against stuff like the Centaur stuns, and just to get out of the static link, get away from the Razor if he's stolen a lot of damage. So we'll see what it's going to be, but both those 2 options very viable here. The Atos has kind of fallen out of popularity with the Skywrath as a support, because he just doesn't. It costs so much. You can pay less and get a 4 staff, which gives you a lot of utility. I think Atos is an item much more built around being picked up on core heroes. You start seeing some Dooms go for it. Obviously, Visage is one of the supports you can, but he gets a lot of farm. Stampede in at the oh, get the stun here. They cancel the Timber Chain. Forev now gets to the high ground, barely survives on about 50 HP. The turnaround is real. No mana for a mech here. That's that new mech mana costing 225, but Urshiga did end up going down. That was bottom lane. Looks like Treant and Centaur teamed up for that. So mid lane, some pressure comes in. They manage to escape, and Slark. Top very, very low as Team wants this tier 1 tower. The Living Armor is trying to heal it back up. Mid lane though, Invasion just going to keep on chipping. Ketchik's not ridiculously farm, but he's been pretty well all in all. And the Chakram coming in, luckily he did get the win run off. As the Ancient Seal Arcane Bolt does a lot of damage. And Slark QO at the top lane will finish off his tier 1 tower. pretty even trades across the board, it feels like. Even though they don't get, I mean, they don't get the tier 1 tower, so as far as that little bit of play is concerned, MVP on top, but like a minute or so ago, it was Invasion getting a tower, and it seems like both teams are just trading small little gains back and forth, and the net result is neither team are really that far ahead. I'd say Invasion looking maybe a little bit better. They've got the mech, they've got a Centaur Blink coming up soon, and then I feel they've got a pretty strong team fight. Even just cost-effective items like the Medallion on the Treant Protector. They can not get destroyed by the Slark in these team fights. I think they're good. And thinking of Slark, uh-oh. Rubik knocking out of there. Cure with the burst damage is level 11, so has the max Dark Pact and Pounce. And brought down that Rubik in no time at all. No points in the null field. And meanwhile, Centaur at bottom lane, so MVP. This is the first time we're seeing kind of a team get a couple good trades in a row. First the tower kill, and then they transition to a couple of little pickoffs. Speaking of pickoffs, QO, no. Okay, so he goes for the Pounce. Didn't actually, could have used the Shadow Dance here. May just want to TP out with some intel trades. He's actually got the HP regen and the Shadow Dance now, and should be just fine. As space created. Let's get the mid tier 1, he says. Living armor. Living armor what? Ketchik wins the race for the bottom rune as Forever will be pushed back, but he's can battle it out. Ketchik's got to be careful. Pops the invis and detection maybe not available. No, it looks like one Sentry Ward actually is there, so Ketchik could be a little bit careful. Can't really, if he pops the bottle charges, he's going to reveal himself. And right now, Ranger just looking to pick up some items, and there's the burst damage from MVP we talked about a bit earlier. It's you can bring down these solo targets so damn fast. MVP just that long range initiation of Fissure, and you can't react. You can't do anything about it. There's the Skywrath ultimate now into play as well. That's the other big pickup now. So. I talked about Invasion getting stuff like their Blink Dagger, but they've got to get that up. They're actually not there just yet. Ghost still needs another 600 or so, and until that point, you've got Fissure, you've got Skywrath Mage ultis, these long-range initiations and burst damage, and speaking of long-range initiation, Kyo is going to have his Blink Dagger on his Slark, so he can start picking off anyone who's trying to farm alone. Bottom lane, though, they've gone in. Forev is the target here. Timber Chain out. Not going to happen. He gets interrupted. Centaur gets low from the double edge, but no counter hit. And Forev was on a dominating streak, so that's a reasonable kill. Centaur picks himself up 500 gold, and that's exactly what he was missing as we keep an eye over towards the middle lane. Coil being used here. Reason drops the dunk, but he does not stun the Razor. Was not close enough for it. Got the damage, but did not get the stun. They burst down the Treant Protector, but they really wanted to get that Razor. Looks like they lost the tier 1 tower. Yeah, Razor got the last hit on the tower, so that's a big win for FZ. Gets the money from the tower, escapes as well with MVP, focusing so much I'm trying to go for that one, but now the trades come in. MVP looking for the tier 1 mid. Invasion looking for this tier 1 bottom. TPs will start. Forev just respawns. There is 3 heroes here. This stun to start things off. Forev going to get shackled. That's some crazy angles. And now tier 1 tower. More guaranteed to go down. Like if he'd waited for teammates to be ready, he could have TP'd and had backup. But now that he's TP'd, he can't defend it. And suddenly the rest of MVP are like, well, I don't want to TP anymore. We haven't got our Timbersaw. And this tier 1 tower may go down. A lot of low HP heroes though. Wind Ranger and Centaur both low, and here comes the backstab from Kyo. He's got a blink here. That means TP time. Ghost Blink of his own is maybe just going to completely avoid. They saw the direction Kyo was coming from, so managed to get out unless Kyo can hit this Pounce, but not going to do so. Kyo hitting level 12 in just a second, and Slark's first little kind of peak is when he hits level 10. Has the 2 max nukes and does a lot of damage, but even like a level 14 Slark, really early in the game with 2 minutes of stolen stats is insane how much that can do. This makes you that little bit tankier, you get to just make your opponents that little bit squishier, so you got to be very careful up against the Slark, and that really applies to some of these tanky heroes that he could get a lot of right clicks off in a fight. The Razor, the Centaur, I'm looking at you. So, as things stand, take a look at our net worth, and is Slark topping the net worth right now? MVP want to keep up this momentum of theirs. Now looking for a bit more. Razor isn't going towards the BKB, and that's going to leave him very vulnerable. You get the stats and a bit more survivability from the Aghanim Scepter, but there's enough, more than enough nuke damage coming out of MVP. We'll see a Stampede attempt initiation towards the bottom lane. Looks like Fissure was maybe stolen, and that's going to be used on March here. Nice pickup from the Rubik. As Dreamcore gets used just to prevent the chase perhaps. And without a T1 tower here, MVP maybe just need to fully retreat. They haven't got the cover there. They can't get TP support except for the tier 2. And it seems a retreat is the name of the game here. Is Invasion. Chase on. Ghost has a blink stun available once more. Pinging things out here. Kua with a blink dagger. Ultimate orb as well. And Heen going to get stunned once. Orbs over the trees here. First damage on the Earthshaker. Heen does not get the orb off. He doesn't jaunt. And that's suddenly 3 dead. Lose the Earthshaker the puck as well. It doesn't include the Skyreth kill from the initial engagement. And Kua caught out. Forced to Shadow Dance. Could use that blink dagger in a couple of seconds. And he's just going to farm this mid lane as he pounces over there. And you see the strength of Invasion. Talked about them having maybe the stronger mid-game to some extent with a blink dagger. And we see the Centaur blink initiations to Stampedes. Doing some work here. That's what he ended up going for. I saw the Gloves of Haste and was thinking Maelstrom, which is kind of a popular mid-win ranger build, but says much. I want my Midas. We'll see where he looks to go next with this, as almost always you want some kind of mobility for a core win range. I mean, core support, whatever it may be. Blink Dagger, 4-stuff. These are the 2 items to look out for. This is so risky. They're killing Roshan so slow, but they are killing fast as Earthshaker. They may not be able to bring down Roshan in any sort of record time, but that Earthshaker just dropped like a bag of potatoes. Will be enough to stop the Roshan attempt. And I think Invasion is something like, oh, we don't have anywhere near as much damage as we thought we did. They stampede forward. We'll catch out the Timbersaw. Silence will allow 4F to actually get the Timber Chain off. No stun coming in. And Ghost is in no man's land. He needs that hoof stomp. Could get it now. Kua gets stunned. He's going to be brought down. Oh no, the Mystic Flare is not going to be enough to bring down Ghost. The Blink across from him. One more Arcane Bolt. Ghost is low, but he's still alive. Blink waiting Rift. Heen now in a very, very dodgy spot here. I don't think he's going to handle this. And no siree. 3 dead on the MVP side. All of a sudden, they're pinging out Roshan once more, but Windranger has other ideas. Wants to go top, so I think the Roshan Dream not alive. As Ketchik will get his farm on, and it's going to be an Orchid Rush, actually. So the Blinks, the 4-stuff, these items, maybe going to have to wait a bit. Ketchik wants that Orchid, and against the Slack, it's a pretty big pickup. But you've got to get, you've got to be able to use on him, and if he sees you, he may just precast the Dark Pact, which is where you kind of want to have a Blink Dagger with the Orchid. So look towards that Blink Dagger coming up after the Orchid pickup for Ketchik. But even elsewhere, really useful against the Timbersaw and Puck. So Slack aside, you've got plenty of good targets. All 3 core heroes do get quite badly countered by this Orchid, and none of them good BKB purchases. MVP QO on the Slack is an okay BKB candidate, but he's already starting work on what looks to be a Skadi, so he could see this coming his way, the Orchid, and decide to maybe change his item direction, but having already invested in this ultimate orb, it still takes quite a while to finish a BKB. Puck and Timbersaw, not BKB heroes. Timbersaw, okay, Timbersaw does every now and then, but normally it's like as a 2nd or 3rd item after the Bloodstone and other things. And when you're this farmed on the Timbersaw, you're unlikely to be seeing BKB anytime soon. And I don't think you want to be going for it as your first item. And you need to get the BKBs. You've got the tree and ultimate to lock people in place, the physical damage that the Razor provides, and the physical damage of Windranger is not too shabby either. You're giving a lot of extra attack speed, as is the Midas, and some right click from the bonus intel. Smoke down bottom. Full MVP team here, ready to go. Reason now looking for an Observer Ward. Maybe he is not going to escape out of this one. The Stampede now going to go through as well. Reason going to be the first target. I think MVP may just want to retreat off of this one, but they're a bit slow on the pullback here. March does not have the escape cells of the Puck and the Timbersaw, and Timbersaw going to try help him out with the Chakram. Nice multiple hero dream call here. The Skyreth is going to drop his ultimate as well. Timbersaw goes flying through, brings down the tree to start things off. Centaur gets dropped, and it's a 2 for 2. It's a bit of a bloody mess here. Timbersaw is going to buy back into this one as well. FC's still chasing, but he's going to be careful. His ultimate about to be, well no, it's still got plenty of duration on this. Ketchik going to turn around here. Gets hit by the pounce, and that could be the death of him. Has not got the win run for another second here. March will survive, just barely. He now wants a Rubik. This is going to be a full team wipe. Rubik will bring down the Slack, but at what cost? Timbersaw buyback is the main cost here, and well, for MVP, but for Invasion, it's a full 5-man swing. As you can see, even with that buyback, it was a like 1,800 gold change in MVP's favor. So well worth the buyback from the Timbersaw, and Invasion just used a bit too much in that first kill in the Earthshaker, maybe. Once they use that blink stun, they've really, like, there's that small window where they can't really chase all too well, and they can't really fight without that next hoof stomp. Unless you hit a big shackle, but the hoof stomp normally needs to like set up a shackle. And Razor, no BKB. He was taking so much damage when he in there. And everyone just got caught in this really bad spot. Right here, there was like a 3-4-man coil, and then Timbersaw just said, easy. Goes on through with the Timber Chain, Whirling Death, Chakram, and brings down Treant, brings down Centaur, and did pay for it with his life, but the damage done was well worth it. Coming out from 4F. 7, 4, and 4. He's had a really big game on this offlane Timbersaw. And he struggled to get experience and farm in that lane, so this is where Timbersaw really seems to be a powerful hero in this current patch and the way teams are playing. Getting himself up to about close to that level 12 now. More importantly, has enough for the soul booster. I don't think he has the Bloodstone recipe. No, so he can buy a soul booster. It's very close. Arcane boots it up and get your soul booster, mate. And maybe he wants the arcane boots as well as the Bloodstone and doesn't want to disassemble them. Sometimes you see that, just if your team maybe needs the extra bit of mana. For now, he's going to look for that rune, and we'll find the bounty rune. Not doing any sort of item dropping to get more efficient. Okay, no, there we will. There we go. Oh, drops a lot of items. Gotta protect these, but yeah, there's 3 heroes here. I'm not going to lose anything. And this gets him back to full mana, basically. Now he can buy a soul booster if he wants to, but no, he's not going to. He's not fast. He can wait to do that. Or can he? Nope, he's going to buy it. There we go. Soul booster up, and he just does everything. Like, I say what he's going to do, and he doesn't do it. Could be a very bad Simon Says player. So, Invasion, after that last fight, seemed kind of reluctant to take another one. They've got the Orchid this time, which could be a decent team fight turn. Like, you silence someone like the Timbersaw, even if he's already got like a Timber Chain through, preventing the Chakram something, I think you do a whole lot better in that fight. Same story with if you silence the Puck. Even after the Dream Core went off, Puck did a lot of damage, hiding people around, orbing through, blinking back in for Waning Rifts. He finished off a lot of those kills, so I think the Orchid on some of these heroes could be a big difference maker. We'll see Foro get burst down here with the Orchid silence on himself. He's not going to get too much damage, and without the Timbersaw damage, hard fight for MVP, but they're still trying to take it maybe. Kuo needs to be careful as uses Shadow Dance, pounces across the chasm here. Gets scattered up our Power Shot, Blink, Hoof Stomp. He's got the Dark Pact in just a second, and he may just kill off Ghost. Ghost is going to look to TP out. And it's Kuo shackled up, but he's tanky enough, and also they don't have vision on him, so he's going to be full HP in no time at all. The chase is now going to be on someone else. It's going to be Reason on the Earthshaker. Goes for the Fissure Block. I'm not sure if he actually properly got that. And it is going to be a very small teamfight victory for Invasion so far, but not over by any means. Ketchik's going to be careful. Where's that Slark? He's going to be sewing up soon, but the silence, shackle on your win range. It looks like Slark was kind of taking a different approach, different direction into that fight, which did not really pay off too well for him. So Puck just completely put out there. I think there's a bit of miscommunication between him and the Slark. Slark was ready to fight. He was full HP, and Puck just didn't quite realize maybe how far away he was or which direction it was coming from. He always got his Skadi though, so this Slark is very, very farmed. Highest level in the game by a couple, and highest net worth in the game by a much smaller margin though. You see Stampede, that's bottom lane. They want March once more. This is a pretty big cooldown ultimate to be using just for a Skywrath kill. And you're going to see some turnaround for Rev. That's some serious damage. He just goes into 3 heroes and said easy peasy. Knows there's no Orchid because it was used on the Skywrath, and it's Skywrath for a Rubik. Centaur Stampede use, I guess it is a pretty short cooldown. I guess it's kind of like a null trade in some ways, and Ketchik is still lingering around, looking maybe for a Shackle Shot Orchid. The Orchid alone not going to be enough anymore for the Puck, because he has got Yules, so he can self-Yules always. You've got to initiate maybe with a Shackle Shot. They see him here, but they also... Ooh, also... There's an odd way to do things there. Well, in the Summit 2 SCA, we're starting things off with a very even game here for today. One more SCA game later on today, also featuring Invasion, taking on First Departure. As FC will just use his ultimate to farm neutrals. Something a lot of players don't do. I remember Envy talking a bit about this, and he's like, man, I'm the most efficient Razor player out there. I'm the only one who uses ultimate to farm neutrals and stuff. And with its really short cooldown, and if you know this, like, you're in a state of, like, you're at this, like, timing where you're not actively looking to take a fight, go for a push, like, you farm it quite a bit faster with it, so it's actually worth using to some extent, I'd say. Oh, QO. Shackle shot, no Dark Pact coming into play. The Orchid Silence is there as well. Here comes the counter initiation. Heen is there looking for Ketchikan with them. Mystic Flare almost brings him down, but it's the Slark who goes down first. Ketchikan getting chain stunned up, but he's going to get out of there with the living armor. Now the mech is there as well. 4 of on the high ground. He's going to get burst down. Big Echo Slam from Reason, but no one on the invasion side is going down. Rubik's low, but that's not going to be enough. He's still alive, and the entire invasion side is, well, not kicking for long. Rubik gets caught out by a fissure from the neutral camp, but it's a 3-for-1 nonetheless, a triple kill for your Centaur of all heroes. And what's this puck doing? Very peculiar position for him to be in. He's surrounded, he's spotted by everyone. Well, Blink North and Orb North as well. I think he should be able to get out of this one. Unless, yeah, Orchid alone not going to be enough to catch him out, because he can use into Blink. He can TP, we could even just do some taunting and like Blink TP up here, but I don't think he needs to TP home. He can just keep his pressure up and his presence on the map nice and aggressive with the fact he's pretty much full HP and mana. Can go grab that top rune if he wants to. And we'll see them transition to Roshan now. BKB very close for FC, just 300 away, and he's going to have potentially the Aegis with a BKB. I think maybe Ketchik takes this though. The Wind Ranger can just play so ballsy with this and get really aggressive. And speaking of Wind Ranger, BKB as well. We saw that fight, the magic damage burst coming out of MVP, and BKBs is really the answer to their lineup. When BKBs are up, only some Slark right-click damage is there, and the Skadi can do a bit more. You can slow people down still, but they've got a lot to kill a Slark. Slark has got to get that BKB up, and that's what the Ogre Club suggests he will be going for. So Heen, as far as he's concerned, he's thinking, okay, we're going for late game. Probably thinking he's going to build a Hex at some point. Long way off of that one, but I don't see MVP breaking high ground or finding a way to kind of take this game anytime soon. So we've got to start thinking about these late game pickups. 4 from the Tim's already down to 5 charges, so picked up the Bloodstone and died almost immediately, and that's always a really bad sign when you get that Bloodstone and don't pick up some charges and just die once or twice fast, and suddenly you're down to like 3, 4, 5 Bloodstone charges. You don't get a lot of what the item gives you, you're just missing out on it. That greatly reduced respawn timer. We'll see mid lane QO. He's gone in. Pop the ultimate, the Shadow Dance. The Suns could be here to follow this one up. QO's be careful, has a Dark Pact and will pounce out with it. The Stampede being used as well, and here's the chase. Rubik brought down, Shackle shot onto Reason, but I don't think Ketchik wants to fight this one. Even with an H, he could BKB, and he will choose to do so. QO goes into the high ground here. He's got a lot of Essence Shift stack starting to build up here, so he's got to be careful. The Timber Chain through Centaur going to be the next casualty. No, he's still alive. He can blink out soon as well. 4 of instead. Goes down with the puck, and Scarith, man, you're overstaying your welcome. So be careful. That Centaur somehow just, the follow-up damage wasn't there, and now we're seeing them. Oh, chase a little bit further. Earthshaker, what he... Centaur, man. That was... He just went back to farm when he had no HP, and Earthshaker says, easiest kill of my life. Just throws a fissure. We saw how low Centaur survived on, and apparently he just went back to farm a creep wave. I don't know about that. So, first 10-second BKB being used for this this Wind Ranger. This Ketchik is becoming a pretty big force in these fights. Soon, though, Cure will have his BKB, so while he's going to have to be the main damage, and there's going to be a lot of weight on his shoulders because the BKB is on invasion there, at least he knows he won't be getting burst down as fast as he would without this BKB. Does have to make sure he gets either that or the Dark Pact off before some kind of Blink Stun initiation comes in from like a Centaur, Hoof Stomp, or a Wind Ranger Shackle Shot, and that's where I'm surprised Wind Ranger hasn't gone for the Blink Dagger. But all's good. Invasion, 28 kills to 21. The goal graph says they're up as far as by about 4,000, which is a pretty small amount at this stage of the game. Stampede being used. Looked like they wanted to maybe try and break the gap there and catch up the Earthshaker, but he's got a blink of his own now. Now they shift their attention towards the bottom lane. That's an illusion. You bring it down anyways. It's just warm up. Bit of practice for the real thing. And MVP, I don't know if they want to defend this tier 2 tower. Fighting into the Aegis of the Wind Ranger, which still has A bit of a duration, minute and maybe 15 seconds left. It's more than enough, and FC with the Ag ulti will assist in bringing down that tower. Still no like blink dagger on the Treant Protector though. His items have completely stalled. Just the 5 CS. He's been involved in enough of these fights, but having like a blink with the overgrowth could be pretty handy. And we will see Ketchik. He's the target to start things up, but he's got the Aegis, so he can... Oh, no, he saves the BKB. He's going to wait for the respawn here, and that's the only hero on the Dire side to fall until the Rubik goes down as well. But Invasion with these BKBs doing some work here. Q's got a BKB of his own. Ghost now just blinks himself in a Heen. I don't know about that decision there. Before, if you're going to Timber Chain himself out of there, is there a power shot, anything to finish him off? Doesn't look like an FC. Going to be the worst for wear against this Slark. This Slark just doing too much here. The Stampede comes back up. Great! 2-hero Shackle Shot, but QO, he Dark Packs it off, and now Ketchik without Aegis is going to go down. Treant Protector's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. 5 dead, Aegis expired, MVP just clean up. All on the back of a BKB Slark, as well as a perfectly timed Dark Pack to get rid of that Shackle Shot. That was a great 2-hero Shackle, but the Dark Pack immediately. QO is an absolute beast there, and we can see... Holy crap, that's like a almost 5k gold swing going the way of MVP. That's back dead even. We're talking about it being like a 4-5k lead. We're going to see this take a little more dip, maybe. Especially if we see this some towers go down, and that's exactly what QO wants here at the bottom lane. Gem gets picked up for the Scarif Mage, and we'll see them look to start getting some map control of their own. That's a scary thought for Invasion, though. If you lose a fight that badly when you've got Aegis, they'd even brought down the tier 2 tower. So they got the tier 2 tower, and then they could just back off, disengage, but it was not as straightforward as they would have liked, that's for sure. See a fissure. Oh. Well played. Did not see that. They had the vision with the Radiant Observer Ward. And the double blink initiation they were there. Although Earthshaker just needed the long range fissure. And not just a tier 1 that means a tier 2 as well, it seems. Although all the core heroes for Invasion are alive, but they just probably lost all confidence at this point. Slark not only has a BKB now, he's picked up a Basher all of a sudden. He's going to start hurting and hitting even harder in these team fights. And hey, they're confident. They win a team fight, they want more towers, they're going for this tier 2 at the mid lane. Glyph not available. It was used on the tier 1 bottom, and then it must have been reused as well. Yeah, it was reused on that tier 2 bottom as well, for whatever reason. Even though they weren't defending it, but now they're going to try Living Armor this one back up. So if MVP want this, they've got to go in now and soon. FC will BKB before the Pound Flashes. Gets Silence QO, but QO will BKB that one off, and Ghost has got no answer to this. He gets full staffed out of there. That's going to save his life. The Treant ultimate comes into play as well. Overgrowth will lock some of these heroes in play as Wind Ranger picks up the first kill on the Earthshaker. 4F trying to make his way out of there, as we will see Ghost blink, hoof stomp, deny on the Timbersaw. He uses that Bloodstone, tries to help some of his teammates. QO is still full HP, he may not have a BKB, he does not have a Shadow Dance either, and this is a bad position to be in. No Dark Pack onto the Silence. A big hero kill as Razor ends the mega kill streak of the Slark. Being a bit too cocky and over aggressive, but just a 2,000 swing, not the 5,000 we saw earlier. Cost Invasion a couple BKBs, but BKBs also expended on the Radiant side. And once Slarker uses BKB and his Shadow Dance, all of a sudden, all he can rely on is the Dark Pack to maybe get a Silence off. Which you have to be so perfectly timed and almost lucky with at times as well. Boy oh boy, Timbersaw now the BKB though, so while they may have got a bit too much. Ketchik catches him from behind. He's got a Maelstrom now, so building towards the Lightning build. He's going to start zapping all over. As there we go, Treant's the Blink Dagger I mentioned earlier as well. So with these BKBs on the Radiant side, this Blink can be a pretty powerful thing to have. This is a pretty cool Treant set. Ah, one of the new Treant sets. Okay. Is this the... no, it's not the Fungal Growth one. Interesting. Okay. It's a pretty cool... I gotta say, this is a neat looking set. You can't see it here too well when he's invis though. I feel like that's something that'd be cool for the set to have, is have some cool invis animations, but... yeah, so new Treant set. Must have come, came out in the new patch. Not tradable yet, apparently. Maybe in one of the new... I want to say it's in one of the new chests. We'll see. Oh, Invasion were not ready for that dunk, but they keep everyone alive. The Null Field helping out a bit there. Timbersaw trying to get the Chakram counter initiation as there is stuns onto the Rubik, but he just blinks out of there afterwards. And Timbersaw didn't want to chase too far. Yule's up on the Wind Ranger. Chakram's waiting for Ketchik, but He'll just BKB, play it safe. It was a 7-second BKB, but at this point he's probably just resigned to the fact, it's going to get down to a 5-second BKB. So, we'll see. 28 kills to 34. Well, right now it's not the kill score which matters too much, I'll tell you that. We're almost dead even on net worth and farm between the two teams. Experience slightly in MVP's favor. Maybe slightly as a result of those kills, but at this point, the graphs don't really have any indication where this game is going. It's going to come down entirely to the team fights and the way these teams fight. MVP do not have the best push. They're all going to be all about getting good team fights, having the Slark snowball, and making sure he doesn't get brought down in a team fight by some chain stun. And he's got the 8-second BKB still, so that is available. If Slark doesn't get a lot of kills and damage done in a team fight, it's all over. But we've got heroes like Raisin on the Earthshaker to sit behind him, protect him with fissures, those Blink Echo Slam possibilities. For the Dire side, they've got a much more natural scaling late game item. Razor, he's going for either Shivers or an AC here. He's got the Ag Scepter, so some good pushing power combined with his general tankiness. You partner that with the Wind Ranger, who's going to make a good late game carry with Mjolnir, Tree, and Ultimates there. So they have the kind of more, like on paper, well, I don't even want to say on paper, it's the kind of just, like, the more standard lineup. This is your cookie cutter. Good laning, decent mid game, and then good late game potential as well. But for Radiant team, this is your MVP Phoenix draft, and you don't really know quite how things will pan out again with this. And he has gone for that Ag Scepter we're seeing more and more on pucks these days. 4.5-second stun. If people break it with the Dream Call is huge. It's practically a max range arrow. See a Sentry Ward come in, and he's going to deal with that immediately. Gets lifted up though. Fissure is there, as is the Chakraman. I don't know about Invasion's decision to try and fight this one. FC does have a BKB, probably doesn't want to use it. It's over on the side here, on the east, where Foro does get his BKB off, going to turn in Chakram, but he's still taking a lot of right-click damage. No Timber Chain just yet, and it's too late. Gets brought down. Chases on, maybe the Dream Coil stun. Oh my gosh, that 4.5-second stun. You can see FC there just looking like he's AFK. Like, that happened before where it seemed like people were just AFK, and then it's like, wait, no. They're just stunned by a Dream Call here. It's going to be Ketchik the target. The Echo Slam comes into play. Ketchik gets brought down to start things off. Ghost as well in a really dodgy position. He's going to look to 4-star TP. The Yule Scepter is available. And meanwhile on the north side, it's QO cleaning up. Ghost will go down as well. Treant Protector the only survivor, and that was a bit sloppy from Invasion. Slark cleans up 2 or 3 heroes on his own, and then the rest of the MVP team deal with the Centaur, deal with the Wind Ranger. Slark took out what looks to be the Razor as well as the Ruby down in this river area here, and Slark is just so farmed all of a sudden. Abyssal Blade had been purchased, and that's a big item if you want to try to fight these BKB heroes like the Razor. Especially if he doesn't get a static link off on you, and even if he does, you've got enough bonus damage, and you start stealing stats, and Razor just, he struggles. You see here, he got 17 Essence Shifts. He stole 51 agility for himself. And that is something that Invasion just did not have an answer to in that fight. 3k HP at the moment. Definitely keep an eye on this Slark, and they've got to be so careful about how these fights go down with this Slark being as beastly as he is. Living Armor going to be immediately taken off this tower, and Invasion can just sit back and watch this tier 2 go down. So MVP definitely pull ahead for the, well, not the first time this game, but definitely pull ahead at this stage. Show their true teamfight potential, and that's really what they want to do. And teamfights like that, where it's not like 5-on-5 all in the same battle. That was like 2 separate fights. There was a fight in the river where Slark was 1v2ing, which is good. Slark can do that. He just doesn't want to be in a fight where he's being focused by 4 to 5 heroes with chain stuns. If it's a 5v5, Invasion can focus Slark using chain stun, telekinesis, hoof stomp, shackle shot, and all that. But when you have these smaller engagements, the Slark in a 1v2, they can't chain stun him. And then on the high ground, they've got like a 2v2 or 3v3, and that's where Timbersaw can do a lot of damage. The Puck, the Earthshaker got a decent Echo Slam off, even though there weren't that many targets for the Earthshaker. The overall fight just looked a whole lot better. For Invasion, they want to be grouped up more as 5. Huddle around for the overgrowth of the Treant Protector to do some work. And also you need more heroes for the Shackle Shot. You want to go for those 2-hero Shackle Shots. You need more targets. Even with that $1 million Dream Call set, the Alliance Pro Gear. It's been working out well for him so far as the Dream Calls are concerned. He's 2-6 and 15, but some really nice Dream Calls to keep people in place, or even just being used defensively in this game as well. And right now, this game looking good for MVP Phoenix, but they're still behind a couple of kills. You can see here, though, they pulled ahead by about 8,000 on the net worth. Experience even more drastic. Slark, though, you look at this and you think, where does he go next? He's maxed out. He can drop the Blink, but the Blink offers him a lot of good engage. So he's probably thinking maybe, well, he can, eventually he'll have another slot with the Aegis gone, but right now he's thinking, I'll save for buyback / get my boots to travel up. I think you just wait out for the Aegis to expire and then buy your last big item. As far as that last big item is concerned, what do you even want? MKB means you can hit the Wind Ranger through the evasion. Other items, you definitely want to go big here. I don't think you need like single target damage like a Daedalus. I think you're better off even tanking. He's already got 3k HP more or less, so I don't know. Curious to see what Slark decides on. Heart of Tarrasque is possible. Yeah, maybe just Butterfly. Get some evasion and extra attack speed. I think Butterfly may be one of the better options. You see a smoke getting through the enemy side of the map here. Treant's invis, and you gotta think there's a gem. Like, this stage of the game against a Treant Protector, there's no excuse not to have a gem. And yeah, Puck's got one. 2 minutes on this Aegis, though. I mean, the good is, you open up an inventory slot. The bad is your Aegis expires. But for QO, he can buy another item and have buyback. All the better for him. He's pinging there. He says there's a ward here. Because of his Shadow Dance, he knows exactly where these pesky wards are. And he's telling Puck, come on over. Come and de-ward. Let's keep this 100% map control up. And this Wind Ranger, we're not really seeing the late game, I guess, impact that you'd want from a hero with this much farm. Needs another item or two, and I'm thinking you need damage in the case of the Wind Ranger. Daedalus. We talked about the Blink there. I think Blink is still nice, but at this point you're also just probably thinking we need some big damage items to just turn the tides of this fight, and there will be a Butterfly for QO. He picks up some of the pieces back at base. So QO gonna make his way towards his top lane, keep the pressure up. Shiver's now on the Timbersaw as well. They're just gonna see a Sentry Ward up here, no big deal, no Observer Ward, and this try to actually bring it down. But do they try and go high ground? Aegis about to expire. About 1 minute, even a bit less than that. So QO just maybe happy to sit back. I'm not sure if he's going to buy the Butterfly right away. Probably thinking that buyback at this stage. If he dies without buyback, that's could be costly. Could be looking at maybe a high ground siege attempt from Invasion, although Invasion are just so defensive right now with their positioning. So far back and always in their own base, it seems. And yeah, MVP just content to let this Aegis expire. No real, as I said earlier, they've got no pushing potential really as far, especially for high ground sieges. So they've got to win fights in. Mid lane. I mean, the Timbersaw BKB's up, and the Treant has the ultimate, but maybe thinking he can save this one. And Invasion not going to find anything out of this one. Blink in from Heen, gets the Dreamfall, and getting out of this one's kind of tricky because of that 4.5 second stun. Reason now blinks in with an Echo Slam. Ketchik's the target. His BKB's the right click damage, not going to be enough. They ignore him. They go into FC instead, and FC. He takes a fall with the Treant Protector down as well. This could be the high ground push coming now. Slark doesn't have Aegis, but has a DD rune. That's a big rune to be getting at this stage of the game. This tower actually taking some big damage from the right clicks of the Slark, and the glyph will be forced out. And oh, okay, Dark Powers. Let's say he walked into that shackle more or less, as we will see the Blink Earthshaker fishes this one up. There is a buyback available for the Wind Ranger, which is where Wind Ranger is probably trying to get a bit aggressive, just try and save these Raxes. Earthshaker will be killed by the follow-up damage there. Slark gonna maneuver his way into this fight with a Shadow Dance here. He's healing himself up inside of this one. Wants to start getting those Essence Chip steals off. QO though in trouble. Pounds to the low ground, just barely makes it. Timber Chain out as well, so Forever also going to escape. Everyone's getting out of here. MVP's March shackled to pieces, and 1 or 2 right clicks gonna be enough. Ooh. The Lightning proc, it looked like it was through the Ghost Scepter. Yeah, he got the Ghost Scepter off, but the last right click, or maybe it was just the Orchid damage. Some damage ticked him over, even in the Ghost Scepter there. Bit of a sloppy high ground siege. They get the tower low, but you're against a Treant, so getting it low means you did no damage at all. At least in 2 minutes' time, it's going to mean they did no damage at all to this tier 3, so they just, I don't think they needed to go. Earthshaker blinked in and like got a fissure off this direction, and everyone kind of tried to follow him up, and that kind of led to MVP's downfall with that push. I think if they just stuck to the plan and focused the tower, they had it. Sure, Wind Ranger was going to just kind of do damage from afar and just keep poking and prodding at them, but you just have to try to avoid as much of that possible. Avoid the shackle shots while focusing the tower. I don't think they get Raxes, but they definitely could have got that tower if they didn't dive so far. So what comes next is MVP Phoenix by no means in the clear this game. We will see an Aghanim Scepter as Forev's next item, with these BKBs getting nice and short for him. 6 seconds on the Razor. Wind Ranger, 5 seconds. He's working a BKB. He'll have a 10-second one, but these short BKBs means an Aghanim Scepter Timbersaw is just going to beast mode these fights. The damage is impressive, but also the slows are really annoying to deal with. Getting around in a fight with a Chakram Slow on top of you is very difficult to do. So, we'll see how things pan out. There's that Invasion of push on top, but MVP have a big flank come into play, and do the Dire team have a gem right now? That's the other big question. Doesn't look like it. They've got no detection for an Invis Puck. As we'll see a TP back from QI, and they're going to catch at least one, I think. No, Stampede being used. Who they got here? It's just going to be the Rubik. For now, at least. Oh, Slark, he had the Abyssal Blade as well. Very close to getting that kill. Now he's on Hot Pursuit. Wants Ghost here on the Centaur, but Centaur with a Blink 4 stuff of his own. Should be okay. Roshan respawning in 2.5 minutes. There's that big Rubik kill. Wouldn't even let me see the teamfight recap. Ketchik, what are you doing? He's in no man's land. QO doesn't even need to BKB out of that one. Wind Ranger, that's 100 seconds on the sidelines, and does have buyback available, just barely luckily, and Ghost now dead as well, so what were they doing? They got out clean. They got out scot-free, but instead they go back in and oh man. They get 2 very unnecessary sloppy kills. They're maybe not going to lose the game off this because of the buyback available on the Wind Ranger, and it gets forced out right away. Living Armor gets swatted away as well in this tower, and that's at least a tower. Possibly Rax is going to be forced out here. Centaur's a very kind of key initiator in a lot of ways. Reason, man, you're not a frontliner. You want to be able to go for that counter initiation with Fissures, with Blink Echo Slams, and there we go. Raxus claimed by MVP. Jackal Shot maybe coming in. Kua gets hexed up. 4 staff away from a teammate, I believe. And can he BKB after this? He's not going to go for the BKB Shadow Dances, and he can heal himself up a bit. Maybe look to re-engage. The Dream Call on everyone here, and you don't want to walk out of this one. Not against that Aghanim Scepter. Shackle Shot not going to land on Forov. He's going to Timber Chain out of there. And there's that stun. ADTR and the Treant Protector. Can they go back in? Centaur dead for 8 more seconds. Slark is going to be healed up, I believe. Kua probably saying, look, we can get this melee Rax here. Just Rubik dead, though, so it's a bit risky, and Kua says, look, I want some more farm. Found himself a bounty rune. 151 gold at this stage, and that's absolutely meaningless for him. He's 6-slotted. Could maybe get like a Refresher Orb or Boots of Travel. Refresher just to refresh your BKB back in your stash. I don't think he needs to upgrade any of these other items. The Blink Dagger, I feel, is worth keeping. I don't think there's any item there which is like really going to make you a better fighter than having the Blink Dagger there, even if it's like some kind of damage item. Oh, they're worried about Roshan. They're going to sit in here for now, and I don't know about this. Look at this. Look at the minimap. That's exactly where MVP they're drawing, and there's like 3 heroes on top of that. Kua goes in, gets the Dark Pact off, now gets the pounce on the FC. BKBs, he wants to fight this one, and with Essence Shift, he sure as hell can, I believe. Abyssal Blade onto Ketchik, and he's actually going to look to retreat. Lost a lot of damage from the Static Link. Looks like Forov going to miss a Timber Chain then. With Roshan respawning soon, I don't think Invasion want to give this one up. They've already lost part of their base here. Now the Chakram going to cut off the retreat of Ghost. That's double Chakram from Forov. Using a lot of his mana though. And he's really recovered. When he first picked up that Bloodstone, he lost some charges and looked like he wasn't having the best time, but now all of a sudden he's up to 10 charges. Has a Shiver's Guard as well as the Accept. And meanwhile on the north side, Kua leaves the target with a Scythe of Vice. He is going to go down in the end. MVP going to buy back the Slark immediately and look to retake this fight, knowing that the Roshan has respawned. And there, oh, the Ducks just line up. The 4-hero Dream Call stun, I believe, and everyone was just like stunned awkwardly, perfectly in a line. Looked like they were trying to do a conga line. That Dream Call stun duration is nasty. See another push towards this Roshan. Very late. Trinkle Boots before it, but we'll see a Stampede Hoof Stomp in. March is the target for the starters here, but he's still alive. Gets the 4 stuff up, gets the Ghost Scepter. Q is the one you got to look out for. Doesn't loses quite a bit. 84 damage here. Enough to give FC a bit more of a puncher, and he wants 4. Blink! Echo Slam from Reason. It's pretty good so far. They bring down the Razor. What else can they get, though? Ghost is getting stuns up, silence as well. Ketchik would be a huge kill. He has knocked off buyback. Reason still just barely alive, not for long, though. Wind Ranger helped finish him off. with some nice right-click damage, but they're just losing. Heroes left, right, and center. The Trinket's caught out in the trees, and they're going to lose. Was it Curio? No, it's just a creep there as well. So Cuo, buyback well worth it. 4 heroes on the sidelines. Buyback status, zilch. Melee racks, ×2. Bottom lane going to be going down as well, it looks like, or whichever other lane they choose to go for, because these 4 heroes are dead for 40+ seconds. They could even go for the throne, although they probably aren't too sure on the buyback status, so they're going to go for another lane of racks. And once they get this lane of racks and no one buys back, they'll be like, oh, let's go for a 3rd lane of racks. Let's just keep this up. There's a Glyph which will stall them, but it's going to be Rubik and then Centaur. And then Treant. This is your supports. You need Razor, you need Windranger, and these heroes have the longest respawn times right now. They're going for the range racks, but they can get the melee for sure. Take that off, guys. They could even go bottom. Like, hands down, they can get the tower. Maybe not the Raxes, but I'd be surprised if they don't try and get some damage done here. Make their life a little bit easier later on. Yep, that's exactly where they're going. Kua, still with some Essence Shift stacks up to 17 right now, giving him, what's that? 51, yeah, 51 agility, and there we go. This time around, yeah, he's going to go for the melee racks. 3 heroes alive, and as said, it's the 3 supports more or less. Centaur blinks into a Hex. Silence up. Ghost is not going to get a single spell off in this fight. Treant blinks in with the Overgrowth, and Razor shows up with the Aghanim BKB, but it's all too late. MVP going to seal the deal here with a big, important win in the Summit 2 SCA division by G2A.com. This was a really important one. These 2 teams were neck and neck in the race for the playoffs, and this win here will put MVP Phoenix in slightly better position to get there. They're now 4-2, giving Invasion their 3rd loss. So, good stuff coming out from the Korean squad, showing that they were kind of in a bit of a slump for a little bit, but showing that they have somewhat regained their previous strength and are a team to look out for. So guys, that does it for our match now. There's one more match coming up. That game is going to be Invasion versus First Departure, but I don't believe it's for another hour or 2. So that game, let me take a quick look. It looks like that is in... It's not on some of these match stickers. Oh, there it is. It's in 3.5 hours, so wow, it's a long break. It's at 11 p.m. Singapore time, I believe. So that means it's at 8 a.m.? 8 a.m. for me. So that's in, yeah, 3.5 hours. Okay, so we've got a long break. We're going to take the stream down. No reason to keep it up for 3.5 hours, guys. Big thanks everyone tuning in. For those of you who aren't aware, we're doing a bit of a cool contest. You can win a trip to the Summit too. So check out www.g2a.com/trip to the Summit 2, and you can enter. Go to like g2a.com on Facebook, like Beyond the Summit on Facebook, and you get a chance to come out here. All expenses paid. It's going to be a lot of fun. You get to hang out with the players, get to hang out with us BTS guys, have a drink, eat some of our food, and watch some awesome Dota. So check it out over on the website. I'll post the link on the chat as well. I'm Gods from Beyond the Summit. If you want to support me, follow me at BTS Gods. But for now, guys, that does it. We're done for the next couple of hours. We've got one more SEA game. I believe Lysander will be popping around to cast that one, guys. So we'll see you all in about 3 hours' time. Done for now.